Where's this girl from? Romania?
Can she yell?
We'll try and I'll do. Awesome! Oh wow! Like totally freaked me out, I mean right on! The Toros sure are #1.
I transferred from Los Angeles. Your school has no gymnastics team. This is a last resort. Okay, so I've never cheered before. So what? How about something that actually requires neurons?
Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Sydney Thompson.
I'm Monica Height.
And I'm Big Red because I know Sydney just said blah, 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 spooky, scary, horror, slasher, monster movie, but not this week, bitch. This week, we've got one of our special Fifth Tuesdays. It happens once in a blue moon. But you know what it is. If there's a Fifth Tuesday in a month, that's a bonus. We get a gimme. We get to do whatever we want. And we had some ideas. We put it to the people because here's the thing. We brainstormed a little internally and, you know, we've all got some favorites, but for Sydney, it was a real Sophie's Choice situation. Those were two of her favorite favorites. So, you know, ultimately we made the final call, but we did want listener feedback. And there was a lot of feedback that said there's nothing like watching Bring It On in the summertime at a slumber party with your besties. So that's what we had to do. We had to do for Fifth Tuesday. We're bringing it on this week with Bring It On.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like, awesome. Oh, wow.
Like, totally freaked me out.
I mean, right on.
Already
going after that.
It's 3 minutes into the episode, not even 3 seconds into the episode, and it's already clear who the cheerleaders are on the pod.
Yeah, well, we'll both get our props.
It's like, can we do some cheerleading ASMR?
I think you got to get closer. It's not picking it up for me.
Girlie, I'm on the mic. Should I take the windscreen off?
It's because we have the
fucking
fucking.
Here.
It's because we have dynamic mics or whatever. I was listening to the episode last week, and I was playing the guitar. Didn't pick up the guitar. I was doing the drill. Didn't pick up the drill.
Wow, devastating. Our mics are too good.
What can we say? We'll do that for you later. We'll do a little pom-pom ASMR for you guys. Maybe on TikTok. I've been getting a lot of ASMR content on TikTok lately, so maybe we'll spread the wealth over there.
Wow, I would love a cheerleader ASMR.
Big Red ASMR. Where she just comes on and she's like, "You're a loser. You'll never amount to anything unless you steal cheers from the Clovers." That's what she sounds like to me in my heart.
You should do that.
You need like bag, dike over and over again.
It's just
big.
Ooh, I like that.
That's great. Wow. I think we've got something going on here.
All right, cool. Real entrepreneuring ideas bubbling to the surface.
Do you want to do IMDb logline before we jump into it?
I would love nothing more than to do IMDb logline, because this is just an iconic film. I actually haven't read it. I was wasting time until I could get it loaded. But I'll just read it out now instead of creating a premise for it because I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. A champion high school cheerleading squad discovers its previous captain stole all their best routines from an inner-city school and must scramble to compete at this year's championships. That's a very boring logline, actually.
Yeah.
That gives
Informational.
no hint at the sparkle and pizzazz that's present in this movie.
This movie, you couldn't make another movie like this in today's age because this movie is so fucking funny.
It really is.
I could do it, but it would be okay, remember when they tried to make the Heathers TV show and they have to be like, our mean girls are woke?
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, it's kind of just like different. Actually, what's a really good take on that is 21 Jump Street when they come back and it's like, what makes you cool is totally different now. So, cultures change, times change.
I don't know. I mean, so what I was 7 when this movie came out. So I don't
Okay.
even know when I saw this for the first time. Watching this, like I know I usually have my Monica thing where I forget everything, but like I was like, have I seen this all the way through? Because I was not sure.
And you
Yeah,
seem to have that
You
gap
would have
in like
remembered the
slumber party
Mickey
movies.
thing at the end as well,
well,
I
that's
feel
the
like.
thing though. I've seen like a lot of like the main parts of
Of
it,
like the pop
the
culture,
spirit
yeah.
fingers and the "Oh Mickey, you're so fine" part for sure. Like that's why that song got so popular. Maybe I don't know. I have no
For
idea.
our generation,
honestly.
at least,
For
yeah.
our generation, yeah. But this like reminded me, I was talking to our lawyer of the pod, Alex, this morning, and I was like, I was so fucking sheltered because my parents are old as shit. I didn't listen to like NSYNC or Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera. I didn't listen to
Missed
Black
out.
either. Just found out about them from watching this
Mhm.
movie right now.
Yeah,
I
because they're
didn't
in the
wa-
movie.
Yes, they're in the movie. I literally did not like know anything about like current pop culture in the 2000s at all. I was just doing my little fucking kid thing, listen to K Earth 101, listen to oldies. So I was like, I think
Yeah.
I might have missed this one. Like this might be my first time through. And my God, what a joy.
It is a joy.
Joy.
I don't remember the first time I ever watched it. I probably just like rented it at Blockbuster or whatever at some point or maybe I saw it on TV. I don't know, but I feel like I watched all of the cheerleader movies when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like Fired Up didn't come out until like 2009, something like that. So
Sugar
that was
and
something I watched
Spice?
like with my cheerleading squad. But yeah, I watched Sugar and Spice. I watched Because I'm a Cheerleader. I watched this. Like I was just like, okay, cheer movie, I'm out here for it. Because I was like, I'm gonna be a cheerleader. And then I was, but we were like I bet Sydney was like a cool cheerleader. We were like not cool cheerleaders at my school.
I thought you guys were cool.
Thank you so much, Monica. That means everything to me.
Yeah, we could tell by all of the photos that you stalkerish took of Chelsea.
There's like a whole photo shoot of
There's
me in my
7
street
albums.
clothes and Chelsea dressed up as a cheerleader, and it's just like close-ups of Chelsea's face. What?
She was a fan. What can we say? But
What can I say?
yeah, I mean, obviously, when you're on an actual cheerleading team, you just have to watch the cheer movies at sleepovers. But I think I was on that beat way earlier. So
On that
just one of those ones.
beat.
You gotta
You're on
stay
top
on
of
it,
it.
baby. And I
It's
feel like it would have been on
important.
TV all the time, and I would have just been like, doop.
Yeah, no, I just like honestly, I'm like, oh, the 2000s, they're back. And this
They're back,
fashion-wise,
bitch.
this movie, I was like, yes, I get why Gen Z is doing what they're doing because the fits fucking slap in this.
This
That
is
said-
Y2K.
Yeah, this is Y2K. But
Well, it's perfectly the year
Chloe,
2000.
Exactly.
I was barely a conscious human in the year 2000, like just barely. You know what I mean? I just learned to read. So, I mean, that's not when you learn to read, is it like 6 or 7? So, like, no wonder I missed this.
Maybe that's when you learned to read.
Read.
In first grade. That's when they teach you how to read. I don't know. I don't remember if I was reading before that. I wasn't.
I remember spelling
in
tests in
kindergarten.
kindergarten, and for my bonus words, I was like Pennsylvania, rainbow, because I was an overachieving ass bitch. So I guess
We
that was
weren't
just
doing
me.
chapter books back then. Okay.
I could never
unless
spell,
you
but
were
I
our one
could
friend,
read like a
Katie.
motherfucker.
She was out here.
Amazing. It's beautiful. But yeah, honestly, it was like my eyes are open to the world. And honestly, it was great to watch this movie as an adult now because I have so many gay thoughts about this movie. Holy fucking shit.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
insane.
The
It's
sexual
just
I took
tension in this
notes.
movie.
Yeah, I took
This-
notes on all of the actual canonically gay mentions, references, and then I also obviously have a zillion of my own thoughts, and I also Googled to see if any of the actresses had come out and said any thoughts that they wanted to share. I didn't find anything. I don't know if you guys found anything, but
No, I
I think
didn't-
we
I didn't
all
look it
know
up
what the
from
truth
that.
is.
No, totally. I mean, one of the main things going into this was that you would have had already watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, right? That already came out. And I think that Eliza Dushku's stint on that had already happened. And that's the gayest shit I've ever seen. So like she was being typecast as a bad girl, yes, of course, because also seems like she literally was a bad girl, and I'm so in love with her. I literally need to like go take a breath.
Yeah, her
but
and Cliff might be the hottest like sibling pair I've seen in a
don't even
while.
get me started. But like
It's bisexual's
that
dream.
that character on Buffy is so fucking queer. You know what I mean? And so like to
Yeah.
come from that and then come into this, like this is it's gay. It's gay. She's gay. I love her. Marry me, Eliza. Marry me. Oh my God. Whew, I was overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Also,
I spent
one
an hour
and a half doing her hair.
You look amazing. She
Thank
was
you
one
so
of
much.
my old school girlies I was just obsessed with because I thought they were so fucking hot without really processing
God.
what that was about. Because she was also
How'd
in
you
a
know?
movie called The New Guy where she wears just like a red bandana as a top and rides a mechanical bull. And I was like,
Watching that tonight.
yeah.
Yeah. I love
It's
her.
another
What
like
was that?
raunchy
What was
teen
that? The
com,
New Guy?
but I was obsessed with her. Yeah.
I'm also really mad at myself because I've seen True Lies and I don't remember
Mm.
her character in True Lies. And what was wrong with me? What was wrong with me? Seriously,
gotta
File
very
it away.
upset. I just need to see every single thing she's ever been in, and I need to know why she's not in every single thing to this day.
Mhm.
These are some questions that the film brought up for me. Deep, hard-hitting questions. But I mean, the rest of the cast is important too, but it's about her for me. That's my
Yeah.
biggest qualm with the movie is that it's not more about her. But we'll get there.
Even though like it wouldn't make sense for her to be in the beautiful, spectacular opening musical scene,
Mhm.
I wish she was, you know?
She should be there. It's so iconic. She's so iconic.
Like
But
she should just be
Seriously.
there.
She really
it's a dream
she needs-
sequence. It's a dream sequence, actually, so they could have gotten a little weird with it, maybe. But
It wouldn't have
could-
made
like,
any
imagine
sense, but come on, what a
Torrance
stream.
comes up and she's naked, she looks into the crowd. Imagine we see the crowd for a second and Missy is right there, like looking back, she could have faded into the crowd and we are just like, oh, who's that? And then we find out later it was actually a prophecy that Torrance is gonna show
Whoa.
Missy her boobs one day.
Missy was
getting
the one
into a
screaming,
whole-
"Nice Hooters!"
Oh, maybe
That's
she was
it.
there.
No,
We don't know if she
that's
wasn't there.
it. That
But yeah,
okay,
that
but this
opening, yeah.
is the best opening ever of all time. Maybe. Probably. I think so.
It almost didn't make it into the movie. I read somewhere. Like the writer was like, this has to be in it because this sets the tone that like that we are like self-aware and
And
we
also that we like
know.
know what these
Bendinger.
bitches are about.
yes, but like the men were like, this is dumb, and she was like, if this takes taken out of the movie is dumb. This makes the movie really
No, and
smart
it's-
and perfect.
And it sets up the stakes. It gives you the cast of characters literally. And then it also like
Roll call.
shows how much Torrance cares about this because she's having these fucking classic
Having her stress dream.
dreams where you're naked in front of the whole school. Oh my God. So funny.
And
Poor
it shows that Big Red is absolutely that bitch. She's like, call me Big Red. I'm still Big Red.
Red. She
and
lords over
know.
everyone and everything.
the lyrics in the song are so iconic too. It's so good. It's so silly. They're like, you can look, but don't you hump. We swear I swear I'm not a whore.
We cheer and we lead.
We act like we're on speed.
Just because we're beautiful, but we don't like you either.
We're cheerleaders. It's such a good rhyme.
It's so good.
It's literally so iconic that people like we still know all of the words to it.
Okay, but like how like influential is this movie on like cheerleading in general? Because like I feel like the cheers from this have become like canonical in cheerleading since then. Because I've like heard the "Burr, it's cold in here" thing like a
Yeah.
million times since.
I wonder if they like actually permeated real cheers that people used, or if they just became like iconic chants that cheerleaders like to play around with as a reference.
Mhm.
Like, that's all right, that's okay, you're gonna pump our gas someday. You know, that
So
is
fucked up.
definitely yeah.
That was so fucked
Not a
up.
nice thing to say.
I was hoping that like we would get into more like cheer beef battles on the sidelines with the other
Yeah,
cheerleaders. Like that
we just
never
get that
really happened.
one. But that's
Is
also
there
No, I
not
was talking
really
about like
a
in
thing.
real life. I wanted
Oh.
that. I wanted to have cheer
Mm.
beef with the like I was like, what do you mean
Yeah.
we're not gonna have cheer off?
What do you mean we have to be
with the
nice
other
girl
squads?
lady
That doesn't
friends?
make
That's
I'm a
my fucking
cheerleader.
enemy.
Obviously, I'm a mean girl, okay?
I'm ready to die for this team.
No, yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine Sydney as a cheerleader. I would have ran away from you.
She's the
Chelsea
real Big
was a
Red, let's be
nice
honest. Yeah.
cheerleader. Sydney is Big Red. Yeah, I'm sorry, Chelsea. You've
People
got the
cry
energy
back
for
in my
sure.
day. It's not my fault. I
Yeah,
was
no.
better than them.
What
Sydney
can
would
she
have
say?
bullied the fucking shit out of me. We've talked about this before. I was so nice, and I wouldn't have deserved it. To be clear, I would have been so mean.
Here's the thing. I would have been mean nice to you. Where
Yeah, it would have been affectionate, I think. She would have bullied you, but it would have been kind of fond. And you
like
just wouldn't have gotten that part.
yeah.
I would have been like, I think
This
I don't,
bitch
I'm so
hates me. I don't even,
scared
what did I
of
ever
her.
do to her? Yeah.
You would have been because this is what happened to like we had like some of our guy there was like this one guy who me and my friend Casey we loved and we were always like, oh my god, Michael, we love you, blah, blah. And everybody's like, y'all have to stop bullying Michael. And we're like, what are you talking about? We would die for
We
Michael.
love
We loved
Michael.
him. What do you mean?
We just said we loved him. I don't understand.
But like they all thought that we were just being like bitches. And I was like,
I thought you
I'm
were being
sorry that
cunty.
I show my love and affection differently than you do. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm a
you
different
just don't
person. I'm
get
sorry I
it.
express myself differently than you.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm gonna be a little mean to you if I like you. It's not my fault.
Oh,
But yeah, I
you
mean-
wield power.
This movie definitely had a huge influence on the cheer world, but also just like the general pop culture impact, I think was pretty huge. There were some references I noticed where I was definitely like, oh, this movie stole that part later on. And also just like I think it was kind of like Clueless in the way that it made up some, not made up necessarily, but it's like slang usage permeated the culture for sure. Where they're like Missy's baked,
Oh.
Missy's the poo.
I'm
That was so
absolutely-
funny. The poo, so sniff or something.
I'm starting to bring back, they're getting all your squirrel or something like that. I'm so sorry.
my God.
I'm starting to refer to pussy as squirrel from now on.
Here's one of my big takeaways. Like, I've said this on the pod before that I was like militant against people saying that's so gay and stuff in high school. And when I was younger, I don't know, I was just so like off doing little kid shit that like I didn't really notice if people were doing that. But like this whole movie is about like that's so gay. Like that's literally like what half the movie is about. It's like race
Yeah.
relations and that.
Yeah, except they say this would have been a great movie for F
For
November.
November.
Seriously. Okay, I read this. There's a whole article on The Advocate.
Yeah, I
and
read
it's
that
like
one too.
it's so short. And I was like, why is this an article? It's like the uses, like intentional uses of the word fag are in the movie, blah, 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 blah. And they're like saying like, oh, the one was to be like, that was hate speech when the football player says it. And that's supposed to make a point about how they were homophobic and blah, blah, blah. And what the boy cheerleaders had to go to, blah, blah, blah. And then like the other one, they had some other fucking explanation for it. I'm not even gonna regurgitate it because it doesn't matter.
No, it was
She can
like-
say it because she's gay. That's why Eliza.
Well, that's what
That's why
That's what he was
Missy
saying.
can say it.
Here's the
There's
thing.
the one that's hate speech, and then they were reclaiming it later as teens, which obviously you can't reclaim something that doesn't belong to you.
Exactly. It
But
hurts.
also, how come there's no discourse about them using the word dyke every 5 seconds? Also, everybody
Okay,
only
but
cares about
unfortunately, I'm absolutely bringing back Dykadelics.
Dykadelic is a compliment.
Missy's allowed
Yeah.
to say it.
Uh-huh.
Listen, the only
Exactly.
people that are allowed to say fags and dyke are gay people and the
Or
Pope.
fags and
Okay?
dykes.
And the Pope. I'm so sorry. The Pope
No.
saying whatever it is in Italian, where it's like fagatoli or something like that.
Yeah, faggoncino
allowed-
or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
he's allowed to say
Did
that.
you say
I'm sorry.
faggottino?
Faggoncino is what I said,
Faggoncini,
but I
like,
don't know
it's
that's
so
something. It sounds like a
funny.
pasta.
Just
It's
mix
whatever
it
the
is with
classic
funny.
word for
peppercini.
fag is in Italian.
And every
Okay.
gay person I've seen like online have a take. They're like, yeah, he's allowed to say it. That was camp, actually.
I don't know that he's
It's
allowed
funny.
to say it, but it is very funny that he's saying it. So
It is very funny that he's
No,
saying it,
he's allowed
and
to
he's
say it
saying
now.
mean things, and I'm mad at him because I thought it was cool, and then he stilled the Pope at the end of the day, and I was
He's
shocked
an
by
old
that.
man. I think it might be one of those things where he's like, "What do you mean you're not allowed to say it?"
Listen,
I thought you
it's
were a
camp.
cool Pope.
I thought that's what they
Camp.
called themselves.
It's camp.
Oh my god!
He's
Anyway,
allowed to say it.
let's keep going through the movie here, but
Can the poll question be can the Pope say?
Can the Pope
Oh my
use queer
God.
slurs?
okay, well that can be the that can be the poll question. You heard it here first.
We can watch Bring It On and go, those girls are dykadelic for sure.
For sure.
If I heard the Pope say psychedelic, I'd die. I think I would
What do you
pass
think
away.
Ascend
Dykadelic
directly
in
to heaven.
Italian would be? Anybody that speaks Italian, please translate this for us.
Is there a translation
Dykadelica.
of adelic? I don't know if that's a thing.
I'll ask Manu.
But what is Torrance's boyfriend's name in this movie?
Aaron.
Aaron?
Bitch.
Okay. Aaron bitch for sure.
Great
And I know
eyebrows,
they're
though.
making all of these jokes. They're making all these jokes the whole movie about like how all the cheerleading boys are gay and blah 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 blah. But that cheerleading boy, I think, is gay. I really
think he's bisexual.
do. I think he's bisexual. He's part of the LGBTQ community for sure. Like if this was a braver movie, it was already doing some brave shit. Okay, and some fucked up shit, but some brave shit for the time. If it was further on in the timeline of life, then he would have had a boy in his bed 100%.
Oh yeah,
those vibes were very present to me.
the vibes were
I
vibing.
kind of liked that it was a girl in this movie though, because it's like everybody keeps writing him off as gay and being like he's a bad boyfriend because he's not into her, he's gay, blah blah blah. It's like no, he really just is a fuckboy, and that's all that it's about.
I didn't get that earlier part of that everybody
Well,
thought
not
that.
everybody.
I think everybody
Whitney and
thought he was
Courtney
a playboy.
love him. I think Whitney and Courtney. I think the vibes of him with the cheerleaders are like he's the one straight guy in theater. You know what I mean? And so everybody is
have
obsessed
Jan.
with him. I know, but Jan is a perv, so I think he
Yeah.
gets written off. He's out here sticking thumbs up pussies or whatever. So
Yeah.
he does not get.
He looks a lot like someone from my elementary school also, but like hot version. Very
Okay.
There's a lot of people who look like people from my high school in this too. Like
Oh my God, we'll
Cliff
have to
looks like a boy that
discuss.
I had a crush on. But
Text it
way
right now.
hotter. Yeah, I'll text it to you right now.
Okay.
Do you think he'd feed you bonbons?
I feed you
You
bonbons all night.
night. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're just what I need.
I am so obsessed with Cliff. I just think he's so cute in this, even though
He's so cute. And I loved
love
him in
him.
Clock Stoppers. I was obsessed with
I am
Clock
not-
Stoppers.
I don't know if I've seen him in anything else. I was like, I don't recognize this guy's face. Another
I recommend
point
Clock
towards me thinking I'd
Stoppers.
never seen this before. You've brought up Clock Stoppers before too.
Well, I was obsessed with it, like I said.
Oh my
When I
God.
lied
Well,
to you just now about how obsessed I was with Clock Stoppers, no, I only
no,
tell
I
the
didn't.
truth.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you say I'm obsessed with Clock Stoppers until the second time. But he is the epitome. I think that it's so cute that he's alternative boy
Yes.
with cheerleader girl. I feel like that's a really fun
It's
trope
such a
pairing.
good pairing too.
Mhm.
Yes. she didn't know who the Clash is, and he liked it so
That you're
much
a
that
band
he
or
let that
something?
slide.
Slide.
Oh my God. But see, I love him so much. And I think it's such a tragedy that he exists in this movie, though.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
problem is
Go
her and Cliff
away.
are so cute, but also her and Missy are so cute. And it's so close to being a legit lesbian movie, and it really could have done that so easily. But her romance with Cliff is so iconic that it's
That's
hard
because
to
it's the
want to
perfect
completely erase
bisexual
it.
movie.
It is
But
the perfect bisexual movie, but it's the bisexual's torture, not the bisexual's dream.
Yes.
I don't know. I
Oh,
think a bisexual's dream would be boy girl twins.
But you
that's
don't get to date
incestuous.
both.
You can't
You
do that.
can.
It's illegal. In fan fiction, you can. But just like Missy says, no, it's good I didn't like him like that. That'd be illegal.
Well,
You know what
they
I
don't
mean?
have to date, but she could date both of them. They don't have to be
It
poly.
gets
She
into
could just be
morally
dating all of
hazy
them.
territory if they're in the same bed all at the same time, which is the only way I would accept it. But they would have to be not related and it'd have to be a different story. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm
Well,
just thinking
maybe
about three
they
hot
were.
people.
Maybe they're step siblings, even though they like look weirdly
Oh,
similar,
so
but like
it's
they
like
just
Life
have
with
brown
Derek.
hair. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
That's
it's fine.
the vibe.
Yeah, it's like Life with Derek, so it's fine.
Yeah. All right.
No, but honestly, like it sucks because like the second Missy comes on the scene, I'm like, forgot about Cliff. Who's that? I've never heard of him before in my life. Who's
Mhm.
Oh,
Cliff
and
Pant One?
her intro to this movie.
Her intro, that whole sequence is
so
like the
iconic.
most incredible cinematic moment in history. Yes, the opening is amazing, but the audition is so funny.
Yes.
Obviously, you guys got on the cheer squad, but as someone who quit after the first day of auditions because I realized I was so bad and everyone was really good at dancing, I really related to that first girl who was like, "Oh, let me start over. Oh, that was terrible. Let me start over." She literally didn't even
Do this
do
again.
anything. I was like, yeah, that's what would have happened if I'd made it to day 4 when I had to do my special skill. It would have been my special skill would have been quitting.
Monica, what would your special skill would have been? Chelsea, what was your special skill?
I have honestly no recollection of ever needing a special skill. But I used to be able to do like the scorpion with my leg like pulled from the back over my head. So maybe
Whoa.
that, I don't know. I used to be
That's
super
pretty
flexible,
cool.
but I haven't stretched in 1 zillion years.
It had to been a couple years ago. It was like New Year's something. I did that recently. Ooh. And I
Ah.
even made the
Scorpion.
caption. I understand you have underwear up your ass right now, but it beats the hell out of a shattered skull. Think about it.
Oh my God.
Nose
That's
flick.
so fucking funny. Apparently, they spent $40,000 on the rights to get cherry pie for the
Which is
sexy.
And it was worth it.
hilarious.
The budget was so small for this. They're like, this was a big chunk of it. Which was fair. I mean, that was sexy, and that's the quintessential sexy dance song, I'm pretty sure. So
Mhm.
pretty
That scene
good.
is just so funny.
It's
And
so
I love
funny.
like the male ballerina in his like little tight tights and the
The
guy
boys
doing
are
Broadway.
serving. The
Wait.
boys came to serve, but they were filling Carver's spot. It wasn't a spot for a boy. So
Yeah.
No. Here's my question. Is it Les? Is that
Les is the gay
guy?
one and Jan is the straight one.
Okay, I loved Les. I don't
Yeah,
think
he's the
that
best.
like
That was one of the
I don't think it
progressive
was-
things is that Les
Yeah.
was there and he was canonically queer and that he was
And I
allowed to
didn't-
be and he had his little flirty moment later on.
and I didn't feel like that was a problematic depiction. You know what I mean?
No,
It
not at
wasn't
all.
like the whole thing about him. You didn't find that out until later on, and he said it in a pretty casual way, though he was answering the question, do you
He said he
speak
was
fag?
fluid.
Are you
He
are
said
you
his
fluent in
sexuality was
fag?
controversial. And then
Controversial.
she said, does that mean you speak fag? And he said, fluently, bitch.
Fluently. Which is such a serve.
So fucking funny. So good. But I thought that was like I thought that was great. And he also like has a little flirty moment with the ballerina guy in that in the audition too. Not that he like says anything, but he's like, and it doesn't
Charged eye
feel,
contact.
it doesn't feel like, it's not like he's like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
with the fucking bent wrist
It feels like
shit, that's,
genuinely
so overt.
good, nice, sweet representation, especially for the year 2000.
Yeah.
Could it have been
So
more?
I was,
Sure. But it's a lot
I
for
was-
him being such a small side character.
Totally. I was jazzed by that. I was like, okay, cool. Hell yeah. It's amazing. I was expecting to be slapped in the face if there was going to be a character like that, but it was pretty good.
No, Les is a king among men.
Seriously. And Missy is the queen of my heart. That just everything about her entering,
Coming in with her verboten tattoo.
oh my god, yeah, I did the tattoo.
Yeah, do your no, don't use that
No,
finger.
you gotta use your middle
You have
finger. So
It's hard
sexy.
to- It's hard to do. It's not. This is really good eyeliner. It won't come down. There you go.
This
You're
is getting
waterproof
it.
eyeliner.
It's waterproof.
She
I
got
love all the
bored
like
during
middle
fourth
finger
period.
play. So funny. Honestly, I gotta say that I'm very impressed with her because hers looks pretty good. Because mine looks like really bad.
No,
so
yours looks
weird.
pretty good.
Thank you, but that's because I'm moving my arms so you can't really see. But it's
Oh,
really
okay.
it doesn't look like barbed wire or whatever the fuck it's supposed to look like. But she just like, I love her whole story too. That like she's only doing it because she's a gymnast, so she has like the fucking skills. To
I
pay the
transferred from
bills.
Los Angeles. Your school has no gymnastics team. This is the last resort.
It's perfect. It's so
Can she yell?
perfect. It is amazing, and I'm obsessed with her. And I think that Torrance, though a little in over her head, is a great captain because she sees what is
The
right in front of
potential.
her, which is the love of her life.
Right. She sees the
Yeah.
potential of a love interest.
And it's not a cheerocracy, it's a cheertatorship. So it's up to her to decide.
Yeah.
You're being a cheertator, Torrance.
Well, get over it, bitch. She's the captain. And Big Red
fucking
set the
captain.
standard, and you're all out here idolizing Big Red. So guess what? This is the legacy that you have to deal with.
Seriously. And honestly, I think this like movie gives so many good lessons, even though it also like says dyke 15,000 times, whatever. Okay, so not great all the way around. But like the whole crux of the movie, right, comes because of Missy, you know? Because it's like it brings up the question like, are you winning if you're cheating? You know what I mean? Like, can you feel like you're the best?
Can you be the best?
Are you actually the best if you are, getting help that you didn't know? Like, even if you were not knowing that you were doing something wrong, like, will you do the extra work to make it right? And I was I almost cried like 5 times during this movie. I was very moved.
Yeah,
Another point towards me never seeing this before, I'm pretty sure.
Again, this movie is using a lot of slurs, and there are a lot of problematic things happening for sure. But also, it was very progressive in a lot of ways. It was like really talking about the dynamics between like the rich white schools and the poor black schools, and cultural appropriation and
totally
identity, blah blah blah. Not identity theft. What am I trying to say? But
you know how like the Kardashians take like black culture and turn it into like something digestible for white people, and then all of a sudden it's cool, but if black people do it, like they don't get any credit for
it's
it.
Like basically. Ghetto, yeah.
No, it's really interesting. I was reading this whole interview with Gabrielle Union about this role and everything too. And apparently she was up for this other movie that was coming out at the time that was also about cheerleading. Called Sugar and Spice. And
yes, that's
an
incredible
movie. We'll do that one day.
Yeah, I would love to see
they
that.
Rob
it
banks.
Sounds amazing. Bank robbing cheerleaders sounds amazing.
They wear like Nixon masks, I think, and rob banks.
Iconic. Giving spring breakers, I feel. But yeah, she wanted to be in that, but they didn't want to make any of the like, I don't know how many, 4 principals. Like they wouldn't cast a black woman for one of the 4 principal characters. And so she was super disappointed in that she didn't want to be subjugated to the background, so she didn't go along with that. This is only her 4th film, but she had done 10 Things I Hate About You, She's All That, and Love and Basketball. And I
Great
haven't seen 2 of
discography.
those movies. But yeah, she wanted to do this movie, which was originally going to be called Cheer Fever, which is so not
as
it,
good.
babe, not as
Well,
good.
But here's the
But
thing. The only time "Bring It On" is ever said in this movie is from the football players.
There's a second time, actually, I
They say,
think. I
"Bring
wrote
it."
it down.
They don't say "Bring It On."
Someone says, "Bring it on, butt plug."
Oh, that.
yes. Yeah. That is the only time that they say that.
So
But yeah, the cheerleaders mostly say "bring it" to each other.
right?
Yeah.
Like the football players say, "Bring it on," blah, blah. And I was like, oh
Mhm.
my God, I love that.
But another thing that was like so cool and what made this movie as progressive as it is, and again, this is in Gabrielle Union's words herself, but you know what I mean? I trust this bitch. She came in and read the script and read Isis's character and was like, "This is cringe, girl." Like I don't know if you can write a Black woman. And they like took a lot of her advice with rewrites for what Isis's character and the other characters on the Clovers were actually saying. So it seemed less weird. Like, oh, let me see. I copied and pasted this. This is this is one of the quotes she said that was in it, and then she changed it. The script was gonna be like, "Meow, me gonna ow you. My
Oh.
nails are long, sharp, and ready to slash."
Oh no.
Thank God for you, Gabrielle Union. Thank God you
That would have
stepped in.
been. I can see that being very camp, but it would be a different movie.
Yeah. No.
It would be a different movie.
Totally. But
Yeah, I mean, I will
no.
say I don't think that the movie doesn't deserve full 100% perfect representation credit because they got a lot of feedback from like early screenings and stuff that people really liked the Clovers and wanted more of the Clovers, and they filmed additional footage of the Clovers exclusively just to put in the trailers and
In
trick
the
people into coming
trailer.
to see the movie
Mhm.
that like didn't make the final cut. So that's kind of bullshit.
It's a
But
good old
Fucked up.
bait and switch.
yeah. Oh, classic. That said,
No, definitely not perfect. I wish they were in
Yeah.
it more. I thought they were in it more. Another point towards me probably never seeing this movie before. I thought it was just them the whole time. I did not even know that my girl is in this movie. That Eliza Dushku is in this movie. Like, I didn't realize that.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, babe. You know what I am gonna watch tonight? I'm gonna watch Wrong Turn, just saying, because it's a horror movie and it stars her. And if it's good,
Mhm.
we're doing it immediately.
You want to know what
Mm.
I'm going to watch later tonight?
What?
Stick it.
Bring It On 3.
Bring it on through with Hayden
Skipping
Panettiere.
straight to
And
the third one.
Solange. Yeah.
I think I've seen that one.
I love that
Oh,
one
maybe.
where she's trying to crump.
Yes, 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 yes,
It's
yes.
so
I've at
good.
least
Rihanna
seen
makes
that
a
part.
cameo in it. I'm like, Rihanna and Solange are in this
You
movie,
should
and
watch.
you're like,
They did the Bring It
incredible.
On horror movie at some point that I haven't watched. Didn't
What?
they do that? Didn't that come out? Bring It On horror movie.
Is it the
I swear they
cheerleaders?
made
Unseated?
2022. Bring It On, Cheer or Die.
Oh my God.
I
What?
didn't watch
Why
it.
aren't we
but
doing
should
that?
watch it at some point. Oh, it's
I was
got
getting
Missy
so
Pyle in it.
angry. I was getting so angry while I was reading about this movie because I was looking at all these like facts and blah blah blah. Not facts.net. Okay, don't worry.
Thank
Thank
God.
God.
Thank God. But they're like, and also because it's a newer article, Lin-Manuel Miranda made it
Did a
into a
musical.
musical. And I was like, we're not talking about that.
Shut
Shut
up.
the fuck up. I do not want to
Shut
hear.
the fuck
Don't
up.
bring Lin into this. This is a Lin-free space. Here I go bringing Lin into it. I'm
Yeah,
so
you're
sorry.
the
Wow.
one doing that.
Monica, you're the
I-
problem. You
the
thought I was going
people
to get canceled
needed
this
to know.
episode. Once
It's
again.
always
God,
Monica
no.
Monica being problematic once again.
What can I say? But I don't know. I think that it's also a really interesting lesson. Like, obviously, it's like you're learning about like how to win and how to win right and that sort of a thing. But I also love what they do, like to like stop white savior shit happening in this
Uh-huh.
movie
Mhm.
too. Which like, you know, I don't know. I was
It's not
watching
about
it
your
and
guilt, Torrance.
yeah. And like I understand her having like these like valiant, angry feelings and seeing the injustice in the world, but like, she can't be the one to fix it. They don't want to accept that from her of all fucking people, who is part of the reason that they've been in the position they've been in the first place, So
They
I thought
want
that was
to
really
get there on
interesting.
their own laurels, whatever that
Mhm.
means.
Mhm.
And they can do it themselves. Oh my God.
With
Okay,
their
wait.
version of Oprah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Speaking of more gay things though,
Okay.
many gay things happen, but one of the early on gay things that happen is when they first go over to the Clovers and they have their first like not altercation, but like they talk to each other
Grundle.
about what's been happening. And like Missy like kind of like goes in front of Torrance a little bit to protect her and like
Mhm.
sexually strokes her arm.
I put the way Missy strokes Torrance's arm when they're talking to the Clovers.
Also, like the look that she gives Torrance when Torrance is like, I'll fight you.
Yes, honestly, that's
Earlier.
what I thought you were gonna say. The sexual tension when Missy gets out of the car so Torrance can kick her ass.
Right. And I was like, ooh, kiss?
She's like, "Get out of here! I'm gonna kick your ass!" And Missy's like, "Okay, word."
And Missy heard
then,
kiss.
yeah, Torrance is like, she gets
It's
scared
just
because all of a
right-
sudden they're right here and they're passionate and what's gonna happen?
It's like
It's a scary feeling.
it's a sexually frustrating film because it's right there. I feel
Yeah.
like this is like we do a lot of fan fiction on this podcast. That's what we
Mhm.
do. We make it gayer. But this is like it's
It's
like
right
their
there.
mouths are hovering next to each other and you're just like, kiss.
They're
Smash their face
literally
together,
right
kiss.
there.
It's so
Yeah,
frustrating. I'm
it
frustrated.
is. Torrance is such an unbelievably obvious example of a girl who's gonna realize she's bisexual like 1 year from now in college.
In college.
She's so
But right
close to
now
it.
she's so close. But right now she knows for sure that she's into guys and she has a boyfriend and she knows how to date a boy. And so it is really easy to veer towards Cliff just slightly because it's a path that she knows and is familiar with, even if he's a different kind of boy. But it's right there. It's right there. And it's so hard not to dive through the TV and get involved yourself.
It's like the classic, like, oh, I just think she's really cool and I want to hang out with her
I'm just
all the
obsessed
time.
with her, and
Yeah, I
she's
don't know
my
if I
best
wanna
friend,
be
and I want to
her
sleep in
or
her bed
be
next
with
to
her.
her. And if she doesn't join the cheerleading squad with me, I'll kill myself.
Thank God
I
you
will-
were here, Missy. I don't know what I would have done without you this season.
Exactly.
It's so painful. It's so painful. I'm sorry, but the like agony on Missy's face when they have that first sleepover and she like catches Torrance like watching
Mhm.
Cliff do his very cute little guitar things. He
It
is
was
cute
really
still.
cute.
I'm still bi, so I do think it's cute, but it's not about him.
Yeah.
It's about
My note is
Missy's
also
pain.
my note is Missy's like, "What are you doing?" Because she thought Torrance was flirting with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they had that moment. They had that moment before the teeth brushing scene where it's like, you know what's really disgusting? Your breath or whatever. And Torrance is like, she like she's so giggly about it. She runs
Oh,
away.
it was so cute.
And then she spies on Cliff in his bedroom instead. But that the toothbrushing duel is
That was
one of the
cute.
most iconic scenes of this movie, and it is one of
cute.
the primary reasons why this straight ship is allowed to continue to exist.
It's so adorable. That's adorable.
Yeah, we loved
It's
that they
adorable.
were promoting good oral hygiene.
It is good oral hygiene, and
Mhm.
also it's good flirting, and the
Yeah.
spitting is erotic, and
Exactly. Maybe
We
this
love
is
an erotic
why
spit.
everybody our age is into
has a spit
spitting.
kink.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was also
We
I
solved
just
it.
became
We
privy
cracked
to
the
the
code.
flaw.
It also is just like a testament to the filming process in many ways, in that like Okay, I don't know if you guys saw that there are alternate endings for this movie, but there's really only
Yeah.
like one real alternate ending.
Yeah.
But I saw a YouTube video with like a whole bunch of deleted scenes, and there was another scene of Cliff and Torrance flirting that was going to be in the movie that got cut. And it
I
was
saw
like
that
one
one
of the
too.
first things that they filmed, and it's like very dialogue heavy. And so it's just like kind of awkward and a little
I'm glad they
weird, and they're
cut
very much
that.
like feeling each other out. Yeah, it's not really adding much. Whereas the toothbrushing duel was like the very last thing they filmed, and it has like no dialogue, and so it like
And it
purely
adds
relies on like
everything.
the comfort that these two actors have built with each other over the course of the movie, and like the chemistry that they've been feeding into this whole time. It just really
Babes.
ties it together.
I found it to be so endearing. It was just like so cute. And then also it reminded me of how I can't brush my teeth. And this would never happen to me. So whenever I brush my teeth, I can't keep the stuff in my mouth and I froth like I have
Mm.
rabies, and it's really not hot. Like it's one of my well,
You
I
gotta
mean, maybe
spit
some
more
people
often,
find
I
it
guess.
adorable. Yeah, I guess
But it
I have
is
to spit more
crazy that they keep
often.
producing so much spit without having any external foam. You're right.
Yeah, I know. It's
She tries to
movie
keep it
magic.
ladylike at first. She's like, and he's like,
It's so cute. But then like I think it is so gutting when Missy first sees all of this happen, but I think like the call out in the bed when she's like laying facing the other direction and she just has this look on her face that's like abject pain. And I'm like, you
well, and
can't tell
also,
me what that is. You can't tell me that's not what I think it is.
yeah, and because she's like, "Are you flirting with my brother?" And then Torrance is like, "No, I have a boyfriend." And it's like, if it was just that she was upset about Torrance flirting with her brother, she would be maybe at least a little bit comforted by being like, "Okay, it's not going to happen. Torrance has a boyfriend." But she still feels terrible, and that's because she's not
She still has a
upset that
boyfriend.
Torrance is flirting
Right.
with her boyfriend or her brother. She's upset that Torrance is flirting with any man that's not her.
Yeah. Oh, devastation.
Waking her up with the
Missy's
full
pain.
volume phone call to Aaron first thing in the morning is so beyond the pale, though. Like, that is so unacceptable, Torrance.
That was so fucked up. That's horrible. Don't wake her
Yeah.
up like that. Let her live.
I feel like, can I fucking sleep?
I love the Clovers so much. I love them so much. I love that they come to the football game
Mm-hmm.
just to like stunt on what are they? The Toros?
The
Yeah.
Toros. And I also have a
Torrance
discussion
from the
question that's like,
Toros.
did they name her Torrance on purpose just to really be like, she embodies the whole spirit of the team? She is the captain.
I feel like they had to. That's too on the nose.
And I also always think they're in Orange County because her name is Torrance, but they're in San Diego.
Yeah. I
Mm.
love
Which is such a long drive to LA just to go see the Clovers.
They
right.
had to do it. They
Had to do it.
They
That's
She had
why
to learn.
that's why they leave right after school and then they get there and it's nighttime game already.
Mm-hmm.
Missy just wanted an alone trip with her.
Missy said, let's be in the car for 3 to 4 hours. What do you think, girl?
Depending on traffic.
We just
I-
had this intense showdown. Let's be in the car alone together for 4 hours.
I
I get it
love,
done.
and I always forget that the Clovers mascot is a leprechaun.
The fighting
And-
leprechaun.
And then like all the male cheerleaders are in their little like shorts and they all kind of look like leprechauns.
Everybody on the Clovers team is so hot too. They're just really, really, really good. They're so talented.
Well, Gabrielle Union is one of the most beautiful women in this world.
Yeah, to
Oh.
ever exist, maybe.
To ever
probably.
exist,
sure.
maybe.
100%. She's so stunning. Also, the girls in black are so hot. And I, again, just found out about them and was watching all their music videos before this. And they were like produced by Lisa Left Eye Lopez. And
Yeah.
you can see the TLC in their music videos like so hardcore. I mean, doesn't hurt that there's also 3 of them. So it's got like the same thing going on. But yeah, it was super cool. And apparently they had just come off of a tour with NSYNC just before this. And so Gabrielle Union was like, yeah, I was actually like really bad at the dancing compared to everyone else. Like all the girls in black had just come off an NSYNC tour and they were fucking fed up with each other and needed space from each other. So it was spilling the tea. But she was like, they picked up the dance move so quickly. She was jealous.
Their
She's
names
like,
in
that's
this
why there's so
movie
many
were like
close-ins on me, because if they looked at my body, you'd know that I
On-
wasn't
only
doing a very
face.
good job.
Only face for Gabrielle.
Yeah.
their names in this movie were funny. It was like Janelope, Lava, and what was the other ones?
Lava is a fucking cool name.
Right?
That's so cool.
She's the one that just keeps making fun of Patty for her weight. There's a lot of fat shaming jokes in this
Yeah.
movie.
Okay,
Well,
that's
it's
one
the
of
year
things.
2000.
2000. We all
The
remember
gays-
that.
The gay stuff, at least there's a little bit of like balance with the one good queer representation that happens in it a little bit. That doesn't save it. But the fat shaming shit is so constant. It's like I love, what's his name? What's the Spirit Fingers guy's name?
Sparky.
Sparky Pilastri.
Sparky. I love Sparky, but fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, that montage was hard.
Yeah.
That
Well, here's
montage
the
was
thing.
all about making them get eating disorders. Like,
Here-
And once
overtly.
again, very 2000, because he's like, your butt's too big. It has its
Right.
own website.
And her butt
she's got an
is
amazing
not big
butt
at
and
all.
and her butt's not that big,
She's
but also she's got a
muscular.
great butt. And in today's day and age, or even like 5 years later, that line would be received completely differently.
Also,
100%.
But
too,
cheerleaders.
Chelsea, did you ever do like all-star cheerleading?
No, I only did like high school cheerleading.
Okay, so I did all-star cheerleading, and like
does that mean you did the
competitive.
yeah,
competitive
that was
stuff?
competitive
Okay, cool.
cheerleading. And the choreographers would be fucking mean like that.
I'm sure.
Like a
Competitive
lot of
sports
girls
like that.
developed eating disorders. A lot of like,
And they said, good, get 5 more. Go home,
Uh-huh.
come back with 5 more.
and like they never
Yeah.
learned your name. They were like if you messed up once, they were like annoyed. If you messed up twice, they were in your face screaming. And we were
See?
like 12.
That when it gets to a certain level, like
Yeah.
people take it so seriously. Like I thought they did a really good job of making it funny, but like bringing up how insane like competitive cheerleading likely is. I mean, I obviously haven't done it, but like the woman, the offhanded line that Torrance gives to her mom, where she's like, "Moms have killed to get their people on
Yes.
the team," and the mom's like,
Mhm.
She hired a hitman. She didn't kill him herself." And there's also that other girl at the first competition, the mom who's like, "You were looking down, you didn't see that move. How could you possibly be judging this if you didn't see that move?"
And it's like
So
that.
I
It's
feel like
insane.
And then I
that
think
was
it's
really
at
fun.
nationals later where they have that one girl who's like, "I'm okay, I'm cool, I'm okay," and then she barfs all over her coach. And that was one of the moments where I was like, Pitch Perfect took this. Pitch
Yeah.
Perfect saw this and took notes.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought that part was really, really funny too. All the little
I loved
itty
the
bitty
beef
bits.
between Courtney and Cutter. Also,
Oh
who's
my
that
God, that
tiny
was
little
so
baby
funny.
girl?
That was so fucking funny. She's literally 7
funny.
years old.
They stole that in what is it? What do they call it? Not Real Housewives of Simi, Real Bros of Simi Valley.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Got beef
Yeah.
with the baby.
He's got beef with the baby.
That's so funny. Sometimes babies got whack vibes.
Sometimes baby's
though,
looking
so
at me. Yeah.
Sometimes
Tell your
babies
bro.
are mean. Okay, they're little humans, and the first thing they learn could be to be a bitch, like that little child.
It could be. Yeah. Yeah. Cutter's out here like. I love that scene. It's so funny.
So funny. I also think it's fun too that like not fun, but like it adds to the lessons that they learn throughout the movie that like they don't try to fix what they did wrong at first because they think that they can't, and then they
Mhm.
then they realize that they have to after the Clovers come and stunt on them, and then they try to cut corners again. Like I just think it's a really good story. Like even I wish like all the fat phobic stuff wasn't in it because it'd be a good story for like young girls to be like, here's what's right and what's wrong, and here's like if you work hard enough and do it yourself, instead of like if you believe in yourself and what you can do, instead of not believing in yourself and like sourcing it out to Sparky, who like fucked them over. Like I thought that was a really good moral of it, that like oh, this is the great solution, we raise the money and we can have this choreographer, but technically it's also cheating even though it's not in the rule book, and like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing either. He is a fucking psychopath.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing, actually.
Yeah, he's here for
which
the
is part of the
money.
He's
problem.
doing a scam. He's doing
He's
a
doing
scam
a
is what he's
scam.
doing.
He said, "Pay me
He's a bad boy, bad boy.
$2,000."
He said, "Be gay, do crime."
Be gay, do crime, 100%.
Oh my god, another gay representation. See, but a gay villain.
Yeah,
Wow.
gay villain.
Gay
That's a
villain.
leather daddy gay villain, actually.
It's a leather daddy gay villain, and I mean, he gave us the fucking spirit.
He was
fingers
giving.
quote, which has permeated all of culture for
Yeah.
forever. But it doesn't
And
make
they
me
gave
forgive
us-
him for the fat phobia.
But he gives us another gay moment, because there's that one moment, I don't remember what he does. He like sort of like charges at them or something, where he's like yelling at them, and Torrance like jerks back and she like grabs for Missy and she like almost grabs her hand. So that made it into my notes for sure.
Okay. Well, we'll take that. We'll take what we can get. That performance though, like the routine like wasn't giving. I
It
got
was
chills
not-
at the
yeah.
end performances, but it wasn't very good. Like the moves they were doing,
It's a little
like, one of my
goofy.
favorites. Yeah,
The
the
music was
sexiest-
so bad.
And it's like like
Right.
I don't yeah.
The part where Missy like is doing it super silly at her house, and then she gets frustrated and walks away. It's just before the swing part with Cliff and
The
Torrance
almost
having
kiss.
a little almost kiss thing. I was like, this is one of the moves. This is gonna be really bad. It's gonna be an
This is gonna ruin the
abomination.
world tour.
Speaking of
It's gonna ruin the
Justin.
tour. Oh my god. Terrible.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
what bad luck that they did the same routine as everyone else, but they did it second. You know? If
directly
they did it
after
first, it would have been a
them.
little less bad.
Yeah, that is one thing about this movie. Like, it does have a great lesson about working hard and believing in yourself, because that's part of Torrance's problem also, is that she doesn't believe in herself, and when she's not surrounded by other people who are cheerleading her, she just doesn't have it in her necessarily to be the one like going against the grain, and Aaron is out here like breaking her down and being like, maybe you're just not Captain Material. And her parents
Fuck him.
you see it more in the deleted scenes, but her parents are like not really into the
Yeah.
cheerleading thing.
They don't think it's worth her time.
Yeah.
Thank God she's taking advanced chem. First period was
Advanced
last.
chem. Yeah, she's like, well, that shut you up. But she's like, this is all I am, this is all I have. But when Big Red is coming out here shutting her down, and when Aaron is shutting her down, and her parents are not believing in her, it's just like Courtney and Whitney are out here like being bitches. I don't know, it's, you get these really like sweet moments from her a couple of times throughout the movie, even with Aaron, where he's just like, I miss you, and she's like, you do? Like, she gets like one little ounce of like
Mhm.
positive affection from somebody, and she soaks it up. Like, it's very sweet for her, but you can see how she gets like led astray easily, because she
Yeah.
until Missy and Cliff come along, she just really doesn't have anybody who believes in her, and then they both do. And Cliff is being so vocal
perfect
about
couple.
it by like literally being like, I believe in you, you
believe
can
in
do
you."
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like saying it so directly, and being a boy, it just gives him an advantage. Missy believes in her, but Missy is also like working through her own internal struggle with like, am I a cheerleader? What am I doing? Blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah. I just like the waste that there's not more Missy in this for me. She's in it a lot. I just like I
Mhm.
want her to be
We
the
need more.
star. I love
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst, obviously, but I think she's so good, and I just don't understand why she's not the same level of household name as
He
other
needs to be more
folks
famous.
in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, as other folks in this movie. Like she is so good in
She's so
fucking Buffy,
perfect.
y'all.
Mm-hmm.
She's so good in Buffy. I
Did
cried.
you know
I fucking cried in
Courtney
her
is
arc.
Glory
I was
in
so
Buffy?
good. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I literally just got to those episodes. So I'm watching Buffy for the first time, but I took like a 2-year break and I'm finally on season 5. I'm on the Michelle Trachtenberg season, if you are
Okay.
familiar.
Yeah,
The
I've
Dawn
watched all
season.
of it.
Yeah, I'm saying that also for the listeners in
Oh,
case
you're
they
not just
need
speaking to
know.
me? What do you
Yeah.
mean? This is a private conversation.
You know what? I'm thinking of everyone here. But yeah, I literally am just at Courtney's what's the actress's name? Claire Kramer's arc. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, because I went to her IMDb because I was like, that is the fucking girl from Buffy. But Buffy wasn't on her thing, but she also has been a producer 7 times. And for some reason,
Oh,
it
that popped up
shows that
first.
and closes all of her actress stuff. So I was like, why has she only been in 7 roles and Bring It On isn't on here? But I was looking it up while we were talking. Yeah, she is
She's
also
Glory.
hot in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Glory, yeah. Oh, 13 episodes. Okay, I'm just in the first 3 of that, so she's gonna be a whole thing.
Whitney was in
Spoiler.
Buffy as well, but she was just like one of the Cordettes in season 3 who was like one of Cordelia's popular girlfriends. So
Oh my god. Also, just the high school that they're at, like, just looks like the high
I think they
school from
did film
Buffy.
some
It's
of
not,
Buffy. I
but
think I saw that on IMDb as well. High school, let me
oh,
see.
no way.
Or they used it
Yeah, I
in
love that. And also,
10 Things I Hate About You, maybe.
there's
Oh, it was
literally a
featured
Buffy.
also as the location for Sunnydale High and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and also the movies Whatever It Takes and Not Another Teen Movie.
Wait, it
Hmm.
literally is the Buffy high school?
Yeah.
Oh my
Or it
god.
was
Okay, cool. That's what I thought, but I was like, oh,
Sunnydale
there's
at
no
some
way.
points.
That's so funny. Yeah, I was like, this totally looks like it. And then they literally make a Buffy reference in this movie.
Janella
The
P, I think,
Clovers
is
are
like, I'm gonna beat these
yeah,
Buffies down.
Yeah.
yes.
Buffy's
Oh,
was like
so
a
good.
slang term for white girl.
That's
Because
hilarious.
of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Or
I would accept
No,
that.
like historically. Like it was like a 50s
Oh,
slang term.
huh,
Like they
I
would call
didn't
them
know
like
that. I
Buffy,
thought it was.
like Buffy and Muffies, like all that kind of stuff. It
Oh,
was like a
sure. I
slang
hear you.
term for like a
Oh,
white girl.
Stereotypical name.
well, if
Yeah.
I had been around at the time and somebody called me a Buffy, I would have been like,
Oh my god, I'm so
I'll take
cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you
Just
so
while we're on
much.
the
You could have called
subject
me a
of
lot
Buffy,
worse.
one of the
Yeah,
other
please more.
IMDb trivia things that's just like a silly little thing was like of the film's two top billed actresses, Kirsten Dunst and Eliza Dushku. Kirsten Dunst, they both sorry, I'm reading it really weird. They both found fame
I like that.
involving vampires
Mhm.
because Kirsten Dunst
Yeah.
got her breakout role in Interview with the Vampire, which we did for Pride in June. And Eliza Dushku was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So there you
I
go.
really hope that long. Also, Claire is in Debs too, which I haven't seen.
Oh, Debs is
You
fun.
just saw
Debs is really fun. Yeah. And
There's
it's
so
gay.
much Y2K stuff that I totally missed. Ugh, man, I gotta get on. I gotta get on my shit. Okay, where are we in the movie? They almost had their kiss.
We're bouncing all
also-
over.
Yeah, we're just like bit bopping
Oh,
everywhere.
we're doing
all
our classic thing.
crazy. But I
Do you wanna-
think that also just back to the deleted scenes, that one deleted scene, there's one with Cliff and Torrance, and they make it clear earlier that Torrance has a boyfriend, and she like explicitly says that to Cliff because Cliff in this scene is like, what would you say if I said I'm into you or something like that? It's like super overt. It's like
Yeah.
not playing around. I'm glad that it's not in that extra because I think that it's like makes it so all the more cutting for Cliff's character having to see her like have that nasty disgusting kiss with Aaron when he brings her home and he's like done this
And that
big display of
kiss
romance.
blowing miscommunication.
Uh-huh.
yeah, that makes that payoff so much more. You know what I mean? Like it should be the way that it is. That was a good cut for sure.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think that this is the point, obviously, where Torrance had to hit like absolute rock bottom. And it was so
Just
cool
to learn
like
how to
watch.
find it internally instead of
Yeah.
externally. Except for
Yeah,
Missy.
it's so cool to watch her
That's
pick
my
herself back
bestie.
up the very next day. Yeah. Like to be betrayed by your boyfriend like that, to call Courtney and Whitney and be like, by the
Mhm.
way,
Oh
she
my God.
resigns.
What a little
Bitch, shut the
bitch.
fuck
I'm resigning
up.
on
You
her
cannot
behalf.
make
Yeah.
you're in college. You're in college. You don't go to this high school anymore. You're
He's
not on the
so
spot. The
invested
audacity of this
still.
man. I
The
hate him.
audacity
He's
of
a piece
him
shit.
when he is talking to her on the phone in that one morning scene, and then they hang up, and then he rolls over and they reveal there's a girl in the bed with him the whole time who's like, who was that? And he's like, my sister.
You're not
But
my
you're not
You're
my
not my
sister. You
sister.
absolute little scum, you little bitch, you little disgusting snail.
Hate him. And his
Hate
perfect
him
eyebrows.
so much.
And
Yeah, he's
his
pretty,
red
but not that
turtleneck.
pretty.
Oh, the
Ugh.
red turtleneck is so funny. But I will
I
say
hate
I
it.
do love I love his little car that he drives. I've always
Mhm.
wanted one of those.
Oh,
And I
that is a
do
very cool car. Is this
it,
Suzuki?
I think so, yeah.
I'm
And
Googling
I
it. Keep
love
going.
him
Missy has a
doing
metallic blue VW bug though, which is way better. I
but I
always
love
wanted a VW
him
bug.
doing I'll get the door tour. I'll get
I'll
the
get the
door
door
tour.
tour.
That gets stuck in my head quite frequently,
Yeah,
actually.
that was a
That's
common
so
quote.
funny. I just love that they don't say bring it on. Okay. They say their other little thing, but she's like, we need to bring it. And she's like, and bring it in all aspects of my life. And then goes and breaks up with him. Like that montage. The montage work in
just
this
not
film is incredible.
boyfriend material.
Oh, that was
Oh,
so
bringing
good.
that back around and like using his quote against him. Iconic. The
I
best.
love
I wish
throwing
that
other
I could
people's
have a
words
one-liner.
back in their faces.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I did that once in 6th grade and it felt so good. And I'll never reach that high again. I peaked in 6th grade. But the montage work in this is so fucking good. I love Torrance when she's like, we're gonna do it and we're gonna choreograph our own shit. And I love that she's like, we're gonna learn from mimes. Incredible.
Do you know who that mime is?
Who's that mime?
That's the director, Peyton Reed. He did a little cameo as the mime.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Mhm.
I love that. It's amazing. I was like, I love that they're like, okay, we're not gonna appropriate Black culture anymore. So let's go deep into white culture. and go
Right.
to
Fosse
mimes.
Verdon,
Wing
mimes.
What is
Yeah,
white
I mean-
culture? It's mimes and
Miming.
musical theater.
Let's bring some white people shit back into cheerleading, okay?
Mhm. Look,
I mean, we've
Yeah.
been talking about mimes a lot recently. Our
it feels like they're
Kirsten
coming up
Dunst
all the
mime
time.
connection. There was
Interview
a
with a
mime thing,
vampire.
and Interview with a Vampire. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
There
What's
you
happening
go.
here? It's a clear reference.
Oh no.
It's so good. I love her bad bitch, meek bitch to bad bitch pipeline.
Yeah,
here.
well, because I mean, again, she did it in the beginning where she was like, "It's not a cheerocracy. I'm in charge." Or it's not a democracy. It's a cheerocracy.
Mhm.
But it's so good in that scene too because Whitney and Courtney just appoint themselves captain because Aaron called them. But their whole thing in the beginning was like, we can't change our routine. It's all about winning. We'll do anything to win. We have to keep using this stolen routine. There's no other option. All of a sudden, they're in charge and they're like, well, we're just going to give up for this year. That's their plan. Like
What?
what
That's a bad
happened to winning
plan.
at all costs? Hello?
I know that didn't make sense to me. There were some moments where I was like not super jazzed with the writing. There's so much like bitey shit that is said and it's so great. And then some lines I'm just like, that's the lamest thing I've ever heard. And I just didn't feel like that made sense for their characters. But I mean,
All
I don't
right.
know.
And also something that really irked me about this movie is the biggest glaring plot hole of this was that pyramid that they do at the beginning.
Oh yeah, the wolf wall.
But like they're 5-time champions. You're assuming that Carver has been on this team for at least one of those seasons, yeah? How
You'd
did
know
she
her
fall in a
abilities.
prep? You're like not even in an extension. They are literally just like holding you up, girl. Like that's not hard.
Yeah.
Champion
Well, the real
fall
biggest
cheerleading
plot
plot
hole. The real biggest plot hole is that they don't have a coach. They
Yeah.
presumably won $20,000 last year and $20,000 the year before and $20,000 the year before and $20,000 the year before, plus whatever budget your school would presumably prioritize for the national championships, who are like the
This
only
is-
successful sport that you have.
Literally, like no one even cheered for the football team. The band didn't even play until the cheerleaders came on. I loved all those details. There's also another little detail at the end. They're like, the next time that we will be defeated is
Oh
next
yeah, our
Saturday.
next defeat is next Friday at 8 p.m.
So funny.
Yeah, they
But
should
yeah,
have the
I
budget
mean,
for a coach, though. Come
they
on,
should have a
They don't
coach.
let kids
They should have
do
mats. They should have a
competition
coach.
sports on their own.
Big Red was just embezzling all of this money and using it for gas to steal.
They
drive
just
to
hit
LA
up
compete.
Darcy's
Using it to keep
dad for
her-
their budget. Yeah, I mean, she said, I need an expensive camera and I need lots of gas money because I'm driving up to Los Angeles every week to steal new routines.
God
But yeah,
damn it.
I mean that is what's really glaring. But also, in real high school level competitive cheerleading, you're not allowed to have your midriffs out. You're not allowed to do a lot of
Mhm.
the like stunts that they're doing because they're
Yeah.
dangerous.
Non-regulation stunts. Those were college stunts,
Those
apparently.
were college
they're-
level stunts.
They're going for cinematography, craziness, drama. So you know.
You could do them in All Stars if you were like a level 6, I
Mm.
think. But like the wolf wall stunt that they did, that's like a fucking level 2 stunt.
Yeah, they say
Come
that
on,
it's really
is this
high level,
amateur
but
hour.
It's the
if you look
it's
at a
the
lot of
dangerous
them,
one, and we're just
yeah,
like, grr.
it's a lot of those stunts were things that we could have done or did similarly at our high school, and we were not very impressive. That said, there was a girl who like fully broke her collarbone getting dropped from pyramid. So any level of cheerleading is dangerous. It is one of the most like high injury sports out there, actually. Like it's
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna get hurt.
yeah.
There was the scene where like when they're at like the competition and there's like a girl and they're like, well, nobody saw
Yeah.
you fall,
were
and her
perfect.
nose.
Nobody noticed.
That happened to
That's
me.
so funny.
Let's go find your tooth.
I didn't lose my tooth, but I did. One of our stunts was
Yikes.
like we were like coming out of our stunts, and I was at one end and the other like at the other end, and you could like they did not like this girl, and so they were like purposely going to drop her.
Oh
And
my god.
We were at an away game,
God.
and I
That's
caught
attempted
her.
murder.
I caught her tailbone with my nose on our white away uniforms. Blood
Blood.
everywhere. But thank God
Did you
all
break
of
your nose?
yeah, it like cracked. But a bunch of the dads in the stands were doctors, so they immediately
Oh, perfect.
corrected my nose. Still
I
can't
said
breathe
it immediately.
out of,
Thank God, that's the moneymaker.
but like still can't
That's the
breathe out of
setup
like
for
one
that
side of my nose.
movie.
Oh my
That's the setup for
God.
that movie senior year, though, is they're like, we're gonna drop her on purpose because we don't like her, and then she's in a coma for like 20 years. So,
Yeah.
that movie's actually really fun and cute, by the way, if you haven't seen it.
Oh, I heard about that one. That one sounded pretty cute.
With
That's
Rebel
fucked
Wilson.
up. That is so
Yes.
fucked up. Insanely fucked up.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
and
I
I
feel
busted
like-
my knee. Like
Well,
I
there you
tore
go.
my meniscus doing a tumbling pass at practice and
It's
ended my
dangerous.
cheerleading career at it's gnarly.
Okay, I feel like we're ready for the final competition now and in our progress through the film. And I just want to say that like I don't like usually care that much about cheerleading, but I cried during both of the performances because I was like, they're doing so good.
They look so beautiful.
Every
I was
time,
like, look at them, they're slaying it. The mime really helped, and we already knew the Clovers were gonna fucking kill.
also too, like before the competition where Torrance walks over to Isis and is like,
Yes.
they like really like they're
Mhm.
like giving each other like tips now because like I think like they're showing we are leaders
Yeah.
and we are respectful, and it's like they both
Isis
are
was like, I don't want your pity money. I don't want your guilt money, but I will take your respect. And
yeah,
if you're worthy of it, I'll give you respect
Give me
back.
back back.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
And I
like,
think
that's
she did a good job
true
of proving
leaders.
herself. Yeah, totally.
And they do that again at the
I
end.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, every
love that.
time Cliff's little song pops up and he's like jamming out to it, I get
Yeah.
literal chills all over my body.
I will say, when I was in high school, we had like our two main cheer coaches or whatever. But then I think my junior or senior year, they hired a new coach who came in with like legit cheer shit all of a sudden, who was like, we're doing those where it's like the mix of like 20 different songs for some reason. They're just all jumbled into
Super
one, like
Smash
at the
Bros.
end. Yeah. She brought that in. She's like, we're doing all of that. I don't know. She came in like legit, and I didn't appreciate it at the time. But watching Bring It On, I'm like, that is more of like the real authentic cheer shit where they have this like mashup and their levels are so good. They're slaying it for sure. But the mashup is just so iconic. It's got so many good songs in it, including Cliff's song, including Black Song,
Black
the bands
Song.
that we were talking about
As If.
earlier,
I
who
love
are
that
in the
song.
Clovers.
As if.
Never gonna
Mhm.
take you
Again,
back
because I
as
had
if.
never heard their music before. When that song was playing, like every time it played, like in the credits and all the times I watched the movie, I was like, fuck, that song is a bop. And I was like, oh, well, it's our girls. So of course it's
Our
a
girls.
fucking bop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
But
it's
okay,
just they're so incredible. Also, they're so fun. Both routines are so fun.
can you believe though that they were like, who should win? That was like a question in the writer's room. They're like, well, it has to be our protagonist who wins. And I was like, no, girl.
That
No,
would be
girl.
such a
Then
wrong choice.
you fucking eat the whole message of the whole movie. Then you're
Yeah.
just like, remember what we just did for the last 1 hour and 36 minutes? Let me shit on that. Like, no. That would have been terrible. Cause like,
Unfortunately,
they did a great job, but this is the first time they've ever choreographed something on their own. The Toros. So like
The
they
thing that
shouldn't
you were
win.
saying about the message also is like they have to learn to do it themselves and believe in themselves and make up for their past. And it's like that is also true, but they also would never get the chance to go to nationals if they hadn't been cheating the last few years, because
Yeah.
they only get to go because they were reigning champs. Otherwise, they would have been disqualified. So for them to win would have been such a fuck you, not just to their character progress within the movie, but to the like message of like righteousness and fairness and working hard for what you getting what you deserve based on the work that you put in. It would have validated all their past cheating.
No, exactly. It would have done that. And it's just like, it makes sense that like obviously they're all incredible athletes, and the Toros like have been doing this for a really long time and they're really amazing, but it makes sense that the people who made the product that they perform, that when they actually get to fucking perform it, they win, because like that's what was winning the last couple of years. Like obviously if they can't do it, then they can't do it, but if they can't do it, they're not making it to nationals in the first place. You know what I mean? They've already weeded all of that out.
You have to be able to pull off your routine, but your routine also has to be good.
Exactly.
And if their routine is coming from somewhere else. Yeah.
No.
Sorry, Sydney, you were trying to say something
glad.
beforehand, if you remember what it was.
Yeah, I unfortunately like the Toros routine a lot better.
Well, karmically, they just couldn't win. It just wasn't what it was.
I get that they couldn't win, but like they had the better routine.
I don't know
that's
things
because
about
they can't show
cheerleading.
the whole Clovers routine because Gabrielle Union is not out here whatever she was saying.
They only gave
Although
gave the Clovers 9 days of training, and they gave a full like
Boot
way
camp.
longer than that, maybe 4 weeks boot camp to
For the
be
Toros.
Toros.
Yeah, but Gabrielle Union
Yeah.
and Kirsten Dunst were both cheerleaders in high school for real, apparently.
Yeah.
Per IMDb.
Yeah. They were. Per Gabrielle Union's interview that I read, so it's validated, it's true.
But again, like,
yeah,
is she a
I don't know.
cheerleader the way that I was a cheerleader, which is to say, could I get out here and be a professional cheerleader in a movie? Probably not.
She straight
Am I
up
having
said,
fun with my
like,
friends?
I was
Yeah,
really bad at
but-
it.
Mhm.
She was like, I wasn't very good.
That said, I do remember
But-
some cheers. Do you remember any cheers, Sydney?
Not just like the basic ones. I don't remember any of the dances.
I don't remember any of the dances either, but I do remember some of the cheers.
But yeah, I love like the way that they like tie up this movie with the actual characters. Like, I think it's so sweet that Torrance can like go up and be like, yeah, we did do good, but you were better. I thought that was really cute.
And that Isis
And
also
I-
gets to be like, yeah, we fucking were better. We're the bitch.
Yeah,
We're that bitch.
Exactly.
She
They
doesn't have
get
to be
fucking-
humble. She doesn't have to be nice. She can just be like, yeah, we were the best.
Exactly. But it's not in a mean way. Like, they can both
Mhm.
agree that they were the best, and that's great. And also, I just love the way the Cliff and Torrance kiss goes down. Like, her like grabbing his
him.
head.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Like, it
That's,
should
like,
be
s-
missy, but like, it was cute as fuck.
But like it's
Unfortunately,
so
when they pan out
teenage,
to reveal
too.
he's wearing baggy
Yeah.
cargo pants,
Cargos?
I was like,
I'm not mad about the cargo pants.
no.
I
Very of
did
the
think
time.
that
Yeah, I'm sure they were like not ugly pants in the year 2000.
I mean, they were,
Yeah.
but still.
They were, but we didn't know then. We weren't savvy enough. I like
I'm
though that
not
also
against
like
big pants.
the reveal that they got second place. There's that moment for a second where it's like, are they going to be happy about it or not? Are they
Yeah.
excited about it or not? How do they feel about this? And even Courtney is like, second place. Like,
Yeah,
even
that
the
was
bitchy girls
awesome.
come around, they co-sign it, and Torrance can like finally let herself be excited.
Yeah, that was really sweet. It's just such a joyous ending, and then ending with the
Hey
oh,
Mickey.
Hey,
Ugh,
Mickey.
it's
Oh, that
was
so
iconic,
fun.
classic.
See, that's what it wasn't enough, but like this is what makes me okay with the fact that they didn't do some weird meta dream sequence shit to put Missy in the first dream sequence at the
Mhm.
beginning, because we get her doing her little solo dance time, and it's the
Yeah.
sexiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I like literally I had to look away. So I actually haven't seen the whole thing because I was overwhelmed while I was doing my hair. I was like, I'm gonna fry the shit out of my hair even more if I watch this right now. Such an iconic ending. But I do think the two alternate endings are interesting enough to talk about. One's really stupid. One is just there is a part where Kirsten Dunst comes out at the end of the movie, like an after credit scene, and she said, "Do you want to see my butt?" And then like to the audience, and the audience is supposedly like, "Yeah, yeah, let you want to see my butt?
Show
And
us
then
your
I'm
butt.
assuming there's a pause for the audience to say, "Show us your butt," and then she's like, "Ew, what's wrong with you?" And then or something like, "You guys are sick."
You guys are
and then that's
pervs.
the end. Yeah, that's the end of the movie. That would have been the end of the movie. I'm glad they didn't go with that. It's a fucking weird vibe. I don't know.
So weird.
It's so weird. But then they had
Yeah.
another alternate ending, which like I think would have fucked up the pacing, because like going from the euphoria of that kiss like straight into the "Hey Mickey" was so awesome. But it was
really
cute.
keeps the energy high.
It was like a flash forward to a year in the future, and Cliff, Torrance, and Isis have gotten into UC Berkeley. And
Those are not Berkeley's
Cliff,
colors, though. I'll say that. That's some
That's
knockoff
true.
Berkeley's
That's
shit.
very true. But Cliff has the fucking iconic little mini spike hair, by the way. I think that's important to note, because at first I
so
didn't realize, and I was like,
important for the time.
wow, he's an adult now. He's in college and he's spiked his hair. He bought gel. But like they're like making out, they have classes together, whatever. They're so happy. But then like Isis comes up and she's like, they're like basically both vying to become captain of the college team, which honestly, like they're freshmen. They should not be captain yet. But
Calm down,
okay,
girls.
whatever. And so they
Yeah.
have this little like back and forth, and then like Isis and Torrance like run off to go to practice together, and that's the end. And I think that's cute. I'm glad that I got to see it and that it existed. I don't think it should be in the movie, but
Yeah, it
it's
was
cute.
not the right tone for the end of the movie, but I appreciate it as part of the Bring It On universe.
Totally.
Yes.
Like I know that that's what happened next year. It's
Mhm.
like an after little short, and they're like,
Okay,
in
but
case you were
what happened
wondering,
to
where our
Missy?
cast of characters. Yeah, where
Missy,
is
I feel
Missy?
like doesn't go to college. Like that's not really her vibe. She finds like some passion project. She's maybe doing like a year abroad in Europe. She's like backpacking or something.
Yeah, I see that for her.
She's gonna come back
Doing
fully
something
having owned
psychedelic.
her. Yeah, she's gonna come back not just knowing within herself internally that she's a dyke, but claiming it publicly. And Torrance is gonna be very flustered and affected by it, and then be like, why do I feel this way? And then she's gonna have a realization.
Wow, what a perfect segue into our
Segamundos.
okay, we're asking the question we've already been saying it this whole fucking episode, but how could this movie be gayer? I love this fan fiction for the future. This is beautiful, Chelsea. That's stunning.
Thank you.
I mean, we talked about it a lot already, but like, oh my God, like make another version, go back in time, make another version of the movie where it's just like
Yeah.
fully lesbian.
I
like,
want, a fully lesbian version where Erin is also a girl, and
Yes.
is just like a
Yes.
bitch.
I want an all
Honestly,
girls
Big Red
cheerleading
could be
squad.
Erin.
Actually,
Big Red and Erin could be combined in a fully lesbian version.
ooh,
And then you have
I could
this
see that.
like dominance.
Lesbian Big Red.
Yeah.
That's important to me that Big Red is a part of the community, even though
I think
she's
she's a part
villain.
of the community. Look, was it offensive that they said
That's an
Big Red
evil
has no
lesbian
feelings,
right
just
now.
testicles? Yes, it is
Yes.
offensive. But also, could she be a very powerful trans woman? Yes, I think so. I think so.
100%.
She's a lesbian trans woman, and she's out here not taking shit from anybody, being the authority, being the queen, ruling over all of the little people.
100%.
So I
Being
can see that
that
for her
bitch.
for sure.
I really, really, really see that. I mean, here's something that I think would make it a queer movie. Let's just delete that fucking guy who keeps sticking his finger in Courtney's
Jan.
pussy.
Jan.
Let's just get rid of him. Let's just get rid of
Yeah.
him. Even though he says some funny things sometimes, we don't need him around. We don't need his toxic straight energy.
Mhm.
I like
and
Jan.
then that
He's
clears
so
the
funny.
way. Yeah. That clears the way for Courtney and Whitney to be conniving
Psychedelic.
little
Well,
psychedelic lovers.
they're the Brittany and Santana of this
Oh, yes. Yeah.
universe.
100%. 100%. I don't know what they're trying to get at by getting Whitney's little sister on the squad. That girl was 8 years old. Is she?
She
in
was
high
also
school?
so
or
not into.
tiny?
First of all, stop making jokes about Whitney's little sister Jamie sucking dick. She's 12.
I know.
Yeah,
She's
in middle
such a
school.
tiny little baby. But also she is like clearly doesn't really care to be there. She's like, go Toros. Yeah. Like she's giving face. She's doing the facials, which I do. That's one of my favorite things watching cheerleaders is when they do the big facials and that
Ooh,
kind of thing.
ooh.
Yeah, I love that. And she's got that down, but otherwise she's just like she's very
Yeah,
low
like,
energy.
she
She's
doesn't
not
have
bringing
the
it.
energy in it. She's like hitting all the marks, but like you got to bring the cheer, baby.
Mhm.
The
You
name of
gotta
the
think
bring the
they're-
pizzazz.
Yeah, they're just trying to assert themselves as authority figures on the squad and as experts and as cheer legacies. And they're just looking for anything they can do to stoke power for themselves. But no, that was the wrong move.
No, it wasn't right.
Yes.
They so clearly would not actually be good captains because like this 1 second that they have any authority when they think they're captains, they
They're
choose
like, "Let's
something that's really
quit."
fucking stupid. They're like,
Hello?
let's quit. And then they're like,
Yeah.
let's employ children. Also a bad idea. Like they're not it. And it's okay to not be captain material.
It's
Listen to
totally
Anne.
okay.
It's totally
You're a great
okay.
cheerleader, Tor. Maybe you're just
I'm
not
going
Captain Material.
Material.
It's just not captain material. I will be going on fanfic.net or AO3, most likely AO3 because that's the one I have an account with. And I will
Well,
be looking up, bring
fanfic.net
it
might be the
on.
right place because
Oh yeah, historically
speaking,
but I want the Missy Torrance love affair, and I want someone to have thought it all the way out for me. I mean, Chelsea, I know you can right now if you wanted to, but you don't have to
Chelsea,
do
whip
that.
up something so fast on the spot.
But I need
It's
like a
on Patreon, guys.
multi-chapter. I need to get in there. Oh my God.
yeah.
Chelsea, do gay fan fiction for the Patreon challenge.
You can't sell fan fiction. It's illegal.
Oh, I
It's
forgot.
intellectual property theft. That's what I was trying to come up with earlier when I said identity theft.
We can put it on for free. Just
Put
read
it
it
for
on the
free too.
Patreon.
Just put it on Instagram.
Any more gay thoughts you'd like to share?
So many more gay thoughts.
There's just so many canon references to people being gay or not gay. So it's just
literally a gay
there's
movie. We could have done
there's
this
a
for
wealth
Pride,
of
except
things
no one
to
does.
pull from.
Do
I
you
do
think the
Jan
Pope could be a cheerleader?
he loves
Get
a
the Pope out of the
costume.
conversation.
The
I
Pope
bet
is
he
in
knows
this, okay?
he knows rituals which are basically the same as routines. I know he knows
We're
how to project
reaching,
his
we're
voice to
reaching.
speak to a crowd. I know, like the Clovers call themselves inspiration leaders. What is the
Oh,
Pope if not an inspiration
inspiration
leader?
This is
Yeah.
actually a Catholic podcast. I don't know if you guys knew that.
You saw those girls
really
doing the
there?
Lord's
Like-
Prayer before regionals
We're
or before
into-
nationals or whatever.
We're into Catholicism now, actually. And not just for the aesthetic. Okay.
I'm here only
Yeah.
for the aesthetics. And also, I'm sorry, I love making wild speculations about the Pope. Sorry, that's one of my fun
Sure,
hobbies.
sure.
It's important
Let
to do. It's
girls
important to
have
do.
hobbies, Monica.
I
Yeah.
will allow it. I love it. I like hearing about it. I just didn't know we were going full Catholic this episode, but
I will say,
A
I do
woman
think
with
Right.
2 Pope Christmas ornaments?
that's true. That's
Yep.
true. Remember that about her. I do think Missy is canonically an uber dyke because otherwise, I mean, I
Oh,
can
she's
see, I guess, a
psychedelic
straight
for
girl.
sure, babe.
Well, she says that Courtney and Whitney are psychedelic.
Projecting.
But when Courtney calls her an uber dyke and she like walks away and is all
Yeah.
mad, I think it's because she's like, don't be homophobic to me.
yeah,
Don't
and
call
also
me
because like
slurs.
she's not necessarily out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause if
She's-
out, so you're
she's, like,
2000.
Yeah, I think that was like righteous homosexual anger that powered her to walk out.
I feel like if
Her
she
righteous
wasn't,
homosexual anger was powering her to do that tumbling sequence, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that if she wasn't gay, she would have been like bitchy comeback or whatever.
Yeah,
Like calling her
but
a
instead
dyke
she was stung.
wouldn't be
That's why
like
she's so
the
upset.
big
Exactly.
own. Yeah, 100%. No, I feel like that's got to be canonical. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
that's
going with
facts.
that. Are we ready to talk about Matthew Lillard?
Meta Lily.
I
Where
have
do we
not
want
thought
him
about-
in this movie? I'm thinking about it
Oh,
right now.
well,
He'd be cute in
okay.
this clip.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. Go
young
ahead. You can say it,
enough.
Sydney.
Unfortunately, he would be a good Jan.
Oh, I was gonna say Sparky Pilastri, and I thought for sure that's what you were gonna say too.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna say Sparky
wow.
Pilastri too. Who's
He would have
Jan
slayed
again?
as Jan is
perv.
the pussy thumb.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Sydney
I
likes
reject that,
Jan.
and I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. Sorry, I said I was wrong.
Like,
That's not true. I reject
Unfortunately,
it.
like he would slay in that role because Jen is the like comedic relief.
Let him be nice.
Sort
He can
of.
be Cliff. He be
He would know.
Cliff.
He'd be great as Sparky Pilastri. A young Matthew Lillard would be great as Torrance's younger brother who is comedic relief and comes over
That
just to
kid
toot on
is such a
her
piece of
and
shit.
call her boyfriend gay and play video
Oh.
games in the background and
You
listen
know
to
who
her
he
phone
could
calls.
be? Tim. Do you remember Tim, the little blonde male cheerleader that like Les hits up like after
Oh,
he
I don't
comes
know that
off-
I knew he had a name.
Oh yeah. He's like, I'm Les, and he's
I
like,
know.
I'm
Oh, I'm
Tim.
Tim. Oh, okay. That sounds familiar, actually.
Why are we doing this thing where we give him bad role? Why whenever I say I would love him to be Cliff, no one responds?
Because I like
I don't see
Jesse
him
Bradford
for Cliff.
as Cliff.
I feel like he could let him play a romantic role. He's got the I'm picturing his edgy alternative roles that he's played in the past, and so he could play like the counterculture punk, and he could do it
Mm-hmm.
more full throttle. I don't know. That's what I want.
I love Jesse Bradford as Cliff.
I love Jesse Bradford, but I also love Matthew Lillard, and so I'm exploring all possibilities. He
He'd
can't
be a great Big
He
Red.
can't be Missy. I'll tell you that. So now you know
He
where
could have
my
been one of the
loyalties
football
lie.
players.
He could be one of the football players who's
He's the one that says, "Bring it
Bring
on,
it
butt
on,
plug."
butt plug.
The one that
Perfect spot
leaps
for
onto
him.
him in the straddle, that's him.
Yeah.
Should that be opening quote? Bring it on, butt
But,
plug.
Maybe.
Maybe.
possibly.
You'll already know if you're listening to this.
He would
Yeah.
be great Sparky Pilastri, though. He'd be an undefeated Sparky Pilastri.
True.
And whoever plays Sparky Pilastri does a great job, but I could see Matthew Lillard giving that exact same performance, basically. So,
He improved a lot of that, but not
oh,
the Spirit Fingers. That was written, but he improved a lot of the other stuff. So he just came up with some fucked up shit to say. Cool.
blink.
Okay, now it's time to decide who is the dumb bitch.
The dumb bitch, and this is a point that I meant to bring up earlier and I didn't, so I'm shoehorning it in here now. The dumb bitch is whatever East Coast screenwriter came up with the line, "You're gonna pump our gas someday," because we pump our own gas in California. We don't have attendants who pump our gas here.
Right.
So that is anachronistic to the location that
Yeah.
this movie takes place in.
That was like an ancient thing to say. I was like, what is
That
this?
was some New Jersey screenwriter who made it to Hollywood who didn't realize their experience was not universal.
When we lived
No.
in Boston, my mom was just like befuddled when people were like, they're like, you know, if you want to like pump your own gas, you have to pay extra.
What do you mean?
And
It's
then
like I don't
wanted to pay
understand.
more to do
I
more
don't
work.
understand being somewhere where I'm not allowed to pump my own. It doesn't process for me. That's my
It
car.
really-
I know how to do
Like,
it.
why would I-
love pumping gas actually?
Why
Although
would
gas
I
stations are very
pay-
scary for women, so
Fair. Fair.
Is having an attendant less scary? I don't know. But yeah,
I
that's
feel
locked in your
like
car.
Just a
nom
little
for Big Red,
nomination.
but she's such a bad bitch that
She's
like
such an
it
icon.
supersedes it almost. But she did do.
She's
big
not a
bad
dumb bitch.
things.
She's a bad bitch.
hello.
She's
The
a bad
correct
bitch.
answer is right there, and it's Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
The correct
Fuck that
answer
guy.
is staring us in the face.
Bye.
Aaron.
Captain
Goodbye,
Material.
Aaron.
Yeah.
He is such a little bastard. Yeah. Okay. I want to.
He's like, "Oh, that was my sister, but you're not my sister." Doesn't even tell this girl that he's a cheerleader. That lady was a real Los Angeles Laker girl.
Really?
cool.
Mhm.
I
That's funny.
whatever denim she is wearing, putting her pants back on in that scene, I need. Actually, it's the
Wow.
perfect pair of denim pants.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's time for our knives out of fives. Chelsea, it was beloved, was it not?
It is beloved. It is absolutely a much loved classic. The numbers are not bad, but they're lower than I expected. I'll say that. I think it really bloomed as it had pop culture staying power, but it only has a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. And on Rotten Tomatoes, it only has 65% fresh from critics and 66% fresh from audiences.
Wrong.
Could be
And
100.
while it got some good award nominations, it didn't even have any wins.
It didn't have Choice
it-
Kiss. It's probably too early
I
for Choice
know.
Kiss.
It was nominated for Favorite Actress Comedy for Kirsten Dunst at the 2001 Blockbuster Entertainment Awards. And it was nominated for Best Dance Sequence for the 2001 MTV Movie and TV Awards. And it was nominated for Choice Comedy at the 2001 Teen Choice Awards and Choice Actress for Kirsten Dunst at the Teen Choice Awards. But again, it didn't win any
Okay.
of those things, which is crazy to me because, like, I wonder whatever won must have been crazy. But 2000 was a pretty big year for like this sort of genre, actually. There was a lot of good stuff that was coming out in that time. So
Yeah. That's fair.
actually now I want to see what it was up against in those years because like
Yeah, what beat it?
what beat it?
know.
But Josie and the Pussycats was like right around then also, honestly.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of competition. Who wants to go first?
I'll go. This movie fucking rocks. It's so funny. I want to unfortunately start saying every problematic thing this movie
really hard to
Mindy!
resist, honestly.
It's so nostalgic. I don't know, like you just could say things like
Don't even focus on the film.
I don't know. Maybe I just want to say Dicadelic all the time and call
I think
Pussy
you can
Squirrel.
say Dicadelic.
That
and
one you can get away with, I think.
Yeah.
what was it?
Focus on that one.
Sparky says the R word.
Yeah, oh yes. You know
Don't say
who
that one.
won
Which
for
all the
favorite
kids
actress
do
comedy
still, so it's fine. Who won?
at the
Who won?
Blockbuster Entertainment Awards? It was Sandra Bullock for Miss Congeniality. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
again, that's another, and that's one we'll have to do one day. But
Wow, that's a banger.
yeah, so as mentioned, Scream 3 came out that year. I'm seeing some Scream 3 love on here. I'm seeing some What Lies Beneath love on here.
It was a
there
big
was
year. You can
it
only
was a
do
big
so
year.
much.
Coyote Ugly
Oh, that was a great year.
came out that year. Charlie's Angels came out that year, or it was like they were all in the same competitive field, so it's understandable.
yeah.
Scary Movie as well.
Yeah, all
Wait,
these
so
are
Sydney,
bangers.
what was your score that you wanted to give it though?
I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. Actually, a 4.5 out of 5.
That was exactly where I was gonna land too on this one, just because of the fat shaming thing. My cat is trying to break in right now, and it's scaring the shit out of me. Sorry. The fat shaming stuff was so like a lot. That was like really hard for me to watch. It really took a lot of the joy out of the Sparky part for me, unfortunately, just because it was so much for so long, and I was like, let it end. But it's just such an iconic movie. This might be the first time I've ever seen it, and I mean, also one of those deducted points is because they queer baited us so bad with
Yeah.
Missy and Torrance. Like it is like this was like I always wanted to be gayer, but this one like I felt agony. I felt so much pain, but it's probably because that's my girl. Eliza Dushku's my girl. So anyway,
I think
4.5.
she's quote my girl for a lot of little gay girls growing up in that era.
100%.
She really was that bitch in 1,000 different ways
She
and
awakened
1,000
so
different
many folks.
queer baiting. Yeah, 100%. And I don't even know that they were queer baiting so much as just like the chemistry was there, and it is like
It
were they
was-
even doing any of it on purpose? I mean, obviously the other characters are being like she's a dyke, so to some degree they must have some awareness, but I think
I
it
don't
was
know.
just one of those perfect recipes, unfortunately.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean that is also my problem with this movie is it is right there. You want it to be queer so bad. The chemistry is so good. The narrative journey is so good. But the Cliff romance is really cute and is also
Yeah.
equally iconic. So
Yeah.
it's hard to do a rewrite and take that away. It's hard to lose that from this film, especially the toothbrushing scene is so iconic. And is so cute and is such good like physical flirting without things needing to get like hands-on or have any like cringy dialogue come in or anything. It's just it's a perfect scene. So it would be a real shame to lose it.
Totally.
And I think the tension between the three of them is part of what is agonizing about it as well. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think I'll still give it a 5 knives out of 5s though. It's such an iconic movie. It's such a classic. It's so rewatchable endlessly forever. Yes, it has problematic elements, but that's so inescapable.
I don't care.
And yeah, there are 1,000 movies that are coming out now that maybe we're gonna go, this movie is perfect. There's nothing problematic about it. And you know, in 5 to 10 years, I'm sure we'll discover something.
100%.
So like
It's
that's
the
just the
natural march of
nature.
time.
Yeah, that's just the way that things are. But I think it's gorgeous. I think I love to look at Gabrielle Union and Eliza Dushku this whole movie. And Kirsten Dunst is so cute and personable, and Big Red is such a fucking slay. I think it is it's one of the top pop culture movies of all time to me, for sure,
Yes.
especially from that era.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. Well, wow, what a Fifth Tuesday. This is probably one of my all-time favorite ones we've ever done. Like up there with Josie. So and Twilight.
And we didn't even talk about this. But there are curses in this movie and urban legends in this movie. So it's basically a horror film. Basically.
Yeah.
The spirit stick.
We didn't even talk about the spirit stick. Awesome. What are we doing next week?
It's I know what you did last summer.
But you want to know what it is?
I know we've decided.
It's I still know what you did last summer.
Summer.
Starring Brandy.
I am. It's timely that we're doing this because Brandy's getting her A24 moment in a minute here with
We're so smart.
the front
So
room.
perfect.
We've planned it all. We talked with A24 and planned this, of course. But yeah, I had so much fun with the last one, and I know that I love this one. It's the third one that I'm scared about.
I haven't seen the third one. I don't
will.
know what we're getting into.
We don't have to worry about it yet. We've got a whole
That's
nother
a whole
month.
month.
But this one fucks. This one
does
fucks,
fuck.
and it has Brandy in it, and it has the J Love Hugh fucking song. So much to look forward to next week. The continuation of I Know What You Did Last Summer. But we haven't even plugged our Patreon this episode yet. Just a brief mention.
Wow, that's so
You
nice.
sprinkled it in when we were talking about gay fanfic.
Yeah.
Organic.
There's a mention.
Organic marketing. But the Patreon, honestly, we're having so much fun on the Discord. We really are. We're talking books. We're talking up and coming
Movies.
horror.
We're talking
the TV show 911.
Ooh, we're talking Baby Reindeer for a second there. We're going all over the time. We're talking about Thelma for a second, which you should see if you have not seen it. But we're really having a really great time.
About what we'll talk about.
Oh no, anything can come up. And we're all making best friends.
If we have done this movie on the pod, and in fact we did, and I was like, I've never seen this movie a day in my life, and I stand by that.
She was like, Chelsea, are you the one that always says we should cover Tragedy Girls? I was like, well, yeah, and we covered it, girl.
Yeah, you weren't like, did we do this on the pod? You were like, have you guys seen this movie? Like,
is this the one that you're always saying
like,
we should do? Yeah, I was always saying it, and then we did it for my birthday.
Great reminder. So. Check out that episode. That movie fucking slaps.
I think
it
slaps.
And
Listen to this episode.
We've released a couple of trailer reactions too, so that's been really fun. Exclusive content, some early drops for episodes. So there's a lot of fun stuff over there. So go over. I know
you could have a spooky Monday.
Ooh.
Whoa. It doesn't have the same ring to it, but
No.
Mondays suck, and we can make it better for you by hearing us yap for a long time. So why not subscribe, join, I don't know, support, whatever the word is for Patreon. We'd really appreciate it. We're patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday. And why not give us a 5-star review? It really helps us boost ourselves up in the minds of other podcast listening folks. It makes us come up on the algorithm more. I don't know. People look and they're like, oh, you have a lot of reviews. That's a legitimate podcast. So you could give us a 5-star review. That would be sexy. You could say, bring it on. Or you could say, bring it on, butt plug. And we would accept that as a positive
We
statement.
love it.
Hell yeah.
It's encouragement.
And why not follow us on social media? We're at spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we are Spooky Tuesday Pod. And we are on YouTube. And boy, do we have outfits on today. We really slayed the
We
costumes
crushed
today.
it.
Real legitimate cheerleaders are here, and real legitimate cheerleader pom-poms are being used. Big Red is
These
here.
are my high school
Torrance-
pom-poms.
Torrance is here
Sharing my
herself.
cat
Missy,
with my pom-pom.
she's got to get
Do the-
used to it.
do it
Cheer
again.
is life.
One more.
Oh yeah,
One more.
a little
Stop not
tattoo.
using your middle finger. What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
Girl,
Uh,
flip off the YouTube
I forgot
crowd.
about that part. I'm focusing on how to get it off my arm because it's really hard to get off. And it did take me 1 hour and 38 minutes to do this, the exact length of the film Bring It On. So I can't recommend doing this to your hair. It might look like this forever and it might fall off tomorrow. So this might be my last episode with hair, and that's why you should go to our
Beautiful.
YouTube and subscribe. But with that, and check out our website, spookytuesdaypod.com. Anyway, and with that, I have to say thank you for listening. This was an extra fun Fifth Tuesday. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yay.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye, Spookies.
These are not spirit fingers. These are spirit fingers. And these are gold.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18. That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt. Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.